Steven Seagal is a movie actor with a filmmaking career in Hollywood spanning 3 decades. In 2016, Seagal became a Russian citizen and continued his career abroad. 2 years later, Vladimir Putin's government named him a special diplomatic representative of Russia. 2 days ago, the actor met with Venezuelan dictator and presidential usurper Nicolas Maduro. This raises the questions: why did Steven Seagal become a Russian citizen? Why was he chosen to be a diplomat? And what was he doing in Venezuela? In recent years, telling information has come out about Seagal's rise to fame. Before he became fat and widely considered to be a parody of his former self, Seagal was physically fit and had legitimately earned black belts in martial arts. According to former Italian-American mafia boss Sammy Gravano, Seagal made a deal with another mafia boss, Peter Gotti, who had infiltrated the movie industry, and in exchange for having Seagal cast in mainstream action movies, the actor would hand over a percentage of the millions of dollars he made to his mafia godfather. Seagal's connection to the mafia was found out by the FBI, and he was strong-armed into being an informant, and the actor testified against Gotti in court for extortion and racketeering. According to Gravano,
he held on to his blanket on the stand while he was testifying the whole time. The guy, when he went in the back room, was hysterical, crying. 2 agents had to hug him.
Perhaps to cope with this show of weakness, Seagal became a reserve deputy with the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Department in Louisiana. He negotiated a deal between the Sheriff's Department and A&E to film his reality show, Lawman. He never actually went through any of the required training to be certified as a peace officer, but in Louisiana, certain positions like reserve deputies can be uncertified if they're partnered with a certified peace officer. The show derailed after a series of scandals involving the actor between 2011 and 2012. In 2011, a bombshell sexual harassment lawsuit from a former personal assistant lost the show's deal with A&E, and the show moved to reels for its last few episodes, but did not complete its 3rd season. Then in 2012, the actor ran into trouble with the IRS when they started coming after him for over $300,000 owed in back taxes. The actor never paid, and his bill with the feds only got bigger. In 2016, the actor received citizenship in Russia, effectively exiling himself from the US. But more severe than the taxes are the series of sexual assault allegations against him by actresses since 2018.
In terms of your life in America, you've been very much caught up in all the allegations of sexual harassment. You had a rape allegation against you, and I wonder how you deal with all that.
Yeah.
Hello, Steven Seagal.
Take the microphone off you.
Yeah.
That same year, the actor was named a diplomatic representative by the Russian government to foster good relations between the US and Russia. Also, this was likely a calculated decision to impress Donald Trump, who reportedly is addicted to TV, especially Hollywood gossip. As most people know, the Russian government under Vladimir Putin recognized Nicolas Maduro's usurper regime and even sent over 1,000 Russian soldiers and military contractors to help prop up the dictator and his war machine. Now, we get to Steven Seagal visiting Maduro and symbolically presenting him with a samurai sword. That's a very esoteric gift representative a lot more of the actor's background rather than the country he represents. But according to Russian state media, Maduro drawing the sword is a symbol of leadership. Okay. Officially, the two discussed preservation of the Venezuelan rainforest, and they even toured Canaima National Park together with the regime's Minister of Indigenous Peoples. That is hilariously offensive for 2 reasons. First, the regime unofficially but practically handed over much of the Venezuelan rainforest to the Colombian Marxist guerrillas and illegal mining companies who have caused historic levels of ecological damage to the rainforest. Second, the indigenous people inhabiting Canaima National Park are the Pemon people, and Nicolas Maduro is not their friend. Before Juan Guaido was even a thing, the Pemon Nation had already risen up in mass rebellion against Maduro's regime in 2018. Then in January 2019, the Pemon people recognized Juan Guaido's interim presidency. That's why a month later, while the whole world was distracted by the humanitarian aid convoy on the Colombian border, Maduro's regime mobilized 3,000 prison convicts, armed them, put them in uniform, and unleashed an orgy of violence against the natives living in the national park.
No les importa contra quién van a disparar. La orden es dispararnos a todos. Ya pasaron por mi comunidad disparando a ráfaga. Y en la planta están también disparando.
Señores, Santa Elena, vean eso, vean eso. Mira. El botín completo, digo, para que ustedes sepan.
7 natives were killed just in the village of Cumaracapay, with 25 natives killed overall and thousands of Bemon displaced from their homes just in one event. After the convict army was pulled back, the regime sent its armed civilian paramilitary groups to Gran Sabana to arrest Emilio Gonzalez, the pro-Guaido indigenous mayor who was democratically elected by his constituents, most of whom are from his tribe. Gonzalez escaped, but the regime installed an unelected Chavista as the new mayor. Honestly, while I don't doubt Steven Seagal knows what kind of thugs he's working for in Russia, I highly doubt he knows anything about what the regime did to Venezuela's indigenous people. He probably has no idea whatsoever. He probably requested the tour of the national park because he really does believe in environmental causes. Seagal's problem is that he's an egomaniac who's willing to get into bed with mafiosos and dictators.
I'm playing his master sergeant, and we come in for rehearsals, and he comes in, I'm in command. What I say is law. Anybody doesn't agree? And I was like, I started cracking up because he sounded like a retard. And he came up and he taekwondo'd my ass against the brick wall. He went, he's 6'5" and caught me off guard, knocked all the air at me. I was like, Why?
As far as what he was really in Venezuela for, I'm willing to bet it has something to do with Russia's mining ambitions in the Orinoco mining arc. Also, the Russian government froze Seagal's bank accounts for nothing other than tax evasion. So, Steven the diplomat probably has to do a lot of busy work for Mother Russia right now to get back into the government's good graces. Thank you for watching Venezuela Explained. If you haven't already, please hit like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. I'll be back next week to explain a little bit more about Venezuela.